Hello, Patriots, and welcome back to the Patriot Dad channel. Today, we're going to be doing a reaction to Prager University's Stories of Us episode done on Tom MacDonald. This episode is titled Wrapped in Freedom, spelled like rapper, not wrapped like a Christmas present. But let's get the video pulled up. This video is recommended to us by Tracy over on Tom MacDonald's Discord, so thank you for the recommendation, Tracy. Let's get this video pulled up and get right into it, shall we?
They're going to take away my social media You cancel me? I own all the cameras. I own all the lights. I own the recording software. There's no endorsement that I'm going to lose.
Really good start, because he's got a good point. Being a completely independent artist, what are they going to do? How are they going to cancel him? I guess they could kick him off YouTube, but he'll just put it on Rumble or somewhere else.
My name is Tom MacDonald, and this is my story. So I grew up in a very small town in Canada called Mission. We spent a lot of time at my grandparents' place and a lot of time with my granddad. And my dad and my grandfather were huge into politics, primarily like American politics. My grandfather was a huge patriot, and I used to sit on the end of his bed and we'd watch the news. I remember we were watching it on the news and my grandfather said, "It doesn't matter what's happening in the United States, that national anthem brings the country together every single time." My grandfather was a very prolific writer, and he inspired me to write things of my own.
That's neat. So inspired by his grandfather, very politically driven, and recognizes the fact that song, our national anthem, was a uniting force. So interesting perspective. It explains a lot why he started writing and why he chose music as his platform.
I remember I wrote this poem in memorial of fallen Canadian soldiers. The soldiers I was writing about won the battle, and then the general or the sergeant was frowning, and my English teachers tore this thing apart. Why is he frowning if he won the war? My dad was livid. He's like, of course he's frowning. He lost all these soldiers. He's coming out of a war. Like, of course he's not happy. So my grandfather contacted this renowned Canadian poet, and she wrote me a letter saying how much she loved the poem and how great it was, and then she actually had it published in a Canadian magazine. I remember my dad coming to my school and dropping the magazine on that teacher's desk and turning around and walking out. One day...
Oh man, that is such a power move. Great work, Dad and grandfather. Just really got somebody behind him to support, got that poet, wrote the letter, got it published, and boom, right on the teacher's desk. Like, you want to criticize this poem? Suck it, nerd.
I went to a pawn shop with my dad, and he gave me $5. And he said, you can buy anything in this pawn shop with this $5. And I found this crate of CDs. Inside, there was a Tupac album called All Eyes on Me. It was a 2 CD set, and I'm just looking at it economically. If I get this Tupac album, I get 2 CDs for the price of one. So I just bought it. I had no idea who Tupac was. I listened to those
Good choice, California Love.
2 albums for years, and I fell in love with hip hop at that point in time. But there's a huge disconnect. There's just like a little white boy from the suburbs who's listening to this like fully grown black gangster rapper talking about a life that I have nothing in common with.
Now, guys, I don't know a lot about Tupac, but I've seen so many different rumors about how he was just some drama kid, like Tupac was just a character, that he was pretending. I don't know, guys. Like, you let me know. Leave me a comment. Is Tupac real? Was it just a character? Was his music actually that good? Like, the only thing I remember now is California Love, which, being from California, like, I think I'm required to like genetically. But let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think Tupac was fake. Let me know if you think his music is good. Let me know. Send it to that email. Let me know if I should watch some of it.
So then many years later, I get on the school bus and this kid sits next to me and he's like, you got to hear this. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, it's this white rapper. His name's Eminem. So I put on the headphones and was just totally captivated. He's got blonde hair like me. He's got blue eyes like me. And that was like the first time the light bulb went off in my head. Like, I could do that.
You can. And you did. You're doing great work, sir. So it's interesting that it took the inspiration of Eminem to let him know he could do it. Everyone that pioneers something new in a category is the first one to do it, and then everybody else realizes the thing can be done. So if you want to do something, guys, don't wait for somebody else to do it first. Just be the first. There's nothing wrong with that.
So the poetry evolved into rap music, and I kept those songs hidden for years and years and years, stuffed in a binder inside a drawer in my room. I loved music, but I just wasn't ready to step into that arena yet. So I like took a detour. I got into construction, and I was 14 or 15 years old, like being bullied by the other workers. So I thought, how am I going to work for the rest of my life and deal with this type of harassment? So I decided I'd give pro wrestling a try.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it starts to go away when you start getting a little older. Like, you don't just get harassed like a 14-year-old for the rest of your life, unless you're like sickly and anemic. But it's kind of a wild transition to go, I'm getting picked on, so I should do pro wrestling? Strange choice, but let's go with it.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw the biggest roadblock up for myself ever. So I went and got tattoos on my face. I got these dollar signs on my eyelids so that I couldn't get hired anywhere. I'd have no choice but to be a pro wrestler.
This explains why the face tattoos started. Interesting little backstory. Little piece of information that's been missing from all the other interviews so far. So the dollar signs were his first face tattoos, it sounds like. Yep, no going back to a regular job after that.
And that's what I did. I wrestled on all these pay-per-views with former and current WWF guys and traveled the country. And I got into a little bit of a scrap one time with one of these guys and jumped off the top rope and to do a frog splash, and I crushed all the cartilage in both my knees. My knees were so messed up that it sort of forced me out of the wrestling business. It was heartbreaking.
Damn. Okay. Now we know why he got out of wrestling. Destroyed the cartilage in both knees. That is not pleasant.
Because I loved it so much. But that exit provided me with like the greatest opportunity ever, where I had this sort of clean slate. I had a passion for music that I wasn't able to explore up until that moment because I was so devoted to the wrestling business. So I started pulling those papers out of that binder in that drawer in my bedroom and recording songs, and that was the beginning. So I started making this music that was very reminiscent of my favorite rappers, and it wasn't working because it wasn't my story, and it wasn't what I cared about, and it wasn't what was in my heart. But I also shifted my lifestyle to be like the guys in the rap songs that I listened to.
Ooh, yeah, guys, first mistake. Don't just mimic other people. You need to be genuine to yourself. If all you're doing is copying somebody else, they can go watch somebody else. The key is be unique, be yourself. Because really, people do realize when you're not being genuine, and it's not really something people want to watch. They want to watch you be genuine. That's part of why I've taken my weekly live stream for the news off of this platform, because I don't feel like I can read through all the news stories that I want to cover. I can't do it the way I want to here. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. So I did something about it. So now it's on the other two platforms, and that's just where you have to find it now. And I'm sorry about that if you wanted to watch it. I know I missed Dr. Gold on last week's stream, but you know what, guys? You just got to be yourself. Be your authentic self. I hate those words so much.
I was placing incredible amount of emphasis on how much money I was making and the jewelry I was wearing and the clothes that I had. And I became just a raging alcoholic. Just partied my life away for many, 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 many years. I ended up having just incredible mental breakdown and sort of unraveling of my psyche one night. The room was moving and like shifting around me. You know, I look at myself in the mirror, I don't even recognize myself. I was like hyperventilating, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor put me on Cipralex, which was not the solution. I contacted...
Yeah, guys, most of these pharmaceuticals, not the solution. And we've seen this story a couple of times in his other podcast interviews, but let's see if we get a new nugget. Keep an ear out.
A mental health place, and I couldn't get in to see a therapist or a psychologist for like 6, 7, 8 months.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the European and Canadian healthcare system is so great, eh?
Because the Canadian healthcare system is just abysmal. So I go to this doctor, he puts me on some sort of beta blocker. That doesn't work. This just goes on and on and on for, 4, 5, 6 months. And then I go back to the doctor one day and I'm like, nobody's helping me. Every moment feels like an eternity, like, you have to help me. And I just told him straight up, I'm gonna kill myself if you don't give me something today. So he gave me Ativan. For the first time in 7 months, I experienced calm. The first thing I thought was, I don't want to be on these pills for the rest of my life.
Guys, I had the exact same thought. I got put on Zoloft when my son passed away in 2004. It was an awful time, not a lot of fun, I promise you. But I got put on Zoloft, similar thing. I was just mentally not in a place that I could help myself. That helped me get off it. But I had the exact same thought he just said. When you get put on these medications, guys, it cannot be the long-term solution. The whole point of them is to help you get your feet under you, to help you stand on your own, and then you're supposed to go forward and do things on your own. It's not sustainable. It just isn't. So if you get put on these, have an exit plan, like a healthy exit plan. Don't stay on them long term. They're not good for you.
I hate to say it, but the Ativan kind of like saved my life. It at least gave me the headspace to figure out what was going on. I have a tattoo on my stomach and it says, if you don't know where the fire started, you will surely burn in it. Those medications, those pills, they're never going to tell you where the fire started. They just sort of fan the smoke away for a minute.
Yeah.
A lot of people look at these things as, oh, I have this ailment and these guys over here have the cure. Fix me. But that's not how it works. You have to fix yourself.
Yes.
So I started really digging into what the source of my unwellness was. I kind of realized what got me there, and that was emulating the stuff in the music. So I had this sort of epiphany, and I figured out, I don't want to make that music anymore. I don't want to make music that's going to do to other people what that music has done to me. So instead of destroying, I wanted to empower. I want to rap about things that I talked about with my granddad and my dad, social issues and political stuff. That's what I'm interested in talking about in my everyday life. Why would I then not go and do that in my music?
That makes sense. Like I said, be your genuine self. And we appreciate it, Tom, because I think your music that you make now is wonderful to listen to and has a real message that can help people. So I think you're meeting your goal of being empowering and not destructive. I haven't heard any of his earlier things that is the more destructive style of traditional rap. If you guys have a link or have any ideas on where I could find that, leave it in a comment or send it to that email address, please.
While I was going through that process, I made plans to move to America. And my lawyer called and said, your visa got approved. I believe that timing is everything, and it was like a meant to be type of thing. So I got on the plane, flew out here to LA, and I reconnected with an old friend who later became my girlfriend. Nova and I first met in Canada, and she was like the only female in Canada putting on rap shows. We moved into a house in Crenshaw. We lived in the hood together, and it was grim. We couldn't pay the rent and do groceries in the same month. There's water coming through the ceiling. I'd wake up and open a cupboard and you'd just see cockroaches scatter off the plates. Like, it was unbelievable poverty. This really strange thing happened this one day where I was like sitting in the house and I was listening to the radio. And
I think this is the story, if I remember correctly, on the origin of Dear Rappers.
And some big mainstream record label rapper came on and I was listening to this song that was playing, and it was sort of like this woe is me, like, it's so hard to deal with all the attention I get and it's so difficult to be this successful. And
he's like, bitch, I've got cockroaches on my plates and no one knows who I am. It's not hard for you.
I was so offended. I was like, how dare you make a song trashing the dream that I've been chasing for years and years and years and almost died to get. So I started penning this like open letter to the guy that I had just heard on the radio. At the time, I only wrote when I smoked. So I grabbed the cigarette pack and I opened it and there's half a smoke in there. Whatever I'm writing, it's got to be done by the time this half cigarette's out. So I got like 2.5 minutes tops. I don't remember slowing down to consider what I was writing next. It just happened. I just wrote this whole song. Nova was sitting in her bedroom and I opened the door and said, I just wrote the song that's going to change our lives. Set up the camera, I need to shoot this. So she set up everything and it was just a gray backdrop. We had one light and we shot the video for Dear Rappers.
It's easy for these rappers who have it all. Talk about the days when they used to be sad. I guess I can't relate to being...
Yeah, guys, you can check out our reaction to this song. It's great. It's live on the channel. Go check out the original. Like, such a good song, guys.
famous and wealthy. I'm 28 and still praying for the day I have a chance.
I called my mom and said, Mom, I wrote a song that's going to change my life. I need like $100 so I can put an ad on Facebook and see if I can get this thing to go. Then I call my baby sister. I need $100. Call my buddy Brandon, get $100 from him. I call this other guy, get $100.
Crowdfunding. Before crowdfunding was cool.
$100 from him. Me and Nova take the last money that we have. We have like $400 and our rent is like $650 and we don't have any groceries. I take all of this money and I pool it all together and it's $1,100. The next morning, we put out Dear Rappers on a Facebook ad, and 24 hours later, it had 1 million views, and we were off to the races. 2 weeks after that, a check came in the mail for $11,000, and that was the most money I'd ever seen in my entire life. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And next month, I get a check for $20,000, and the next month, 30, and the next month, 50. All of a sudden, we had $1 million.
Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist.
I rap about political topics.
We won't always agree. No, I don't hate all police.
Gender stuff and race stuff.
I think Black Lives Matter. They think white lives matter less. And LGBTQ turned into WTF.
My favorite song of my own is always like the most recent one, but I really like You Missed.
They don't want an election. They got so offended by freedom that they just try killing the president.
I remember.
Yeah, dude. You missed. So good, guys. Again, the reaction to a lot of these is live on the channel. If there's one that I've missed that you think we should definitely add to the catalog, though, please leave in a comment or send it to that email address today. Send it right now. Let me know what I need to react to next. I appreciate it. Like Shannon's always in there. Tracy's always in there. Shell's always in those comments, leaving recommendations. Follow their example. Leave me a recommendation.
I remember being so pissed off and thinking, this moment doesn't need a song. It needs a battle cry.
Yeah.
It's all been Nova and I from the inception of this thing. To this day, we distribute the music like totally independently. We don't have a manager. We don't have a publicist. There's no record labels, agents, like nothing. It's definitely not easy being independent, but with how anti-woke my music is, a record label's never going to let me make the songs that I've been making. The music business and the mainstream media, they all work together at creating narratives and towing the line, and anything that goes against their agenda, that's not coming out. I talk about these things and I don't even consider myself a conservative. I think I'm just like a free thinking person. So if they're going to take away my social media you cancel me.
Guys, the crazy thing is he's right. He's not a conservative, but you know what it is now? Those lines have been drawn as left and not left. If you exhibit any ideas or behaviors or attitudes that do not exactly conform to the progressive left, you are branded as far right. It's crazy, guys. It's absolutely crazy, the level of tribalism. It's crazy. But hey, here we are. Welcome to the not left, Tom.
I own all the cameras. I own all the lights. I own the recording software. There's no endorsement that I'm going to lose. And you are not going to shut me up. You're not going to make me feel small. It's not happening. These artists that are top 40 artists that are mainstream, a lot of these people are controlled. And they never get to express themselves. And I've talked to a lot of them. They hit me up privately and say like, hey, dude, good on you. Love what you're doing. They'd never acknowledge me publicly.
Nope.
Ever. But even with all the censorship, we've got over 50 number ones on Billboard and 16 on the Hot 100, which is like the big boy chart. And I've gone head to head with Eminem on these charts and beat him. And Drake and beat him. There's people at record labels tearing their hair out over this stuff because they're sinking hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to convince people that these are the folks you should be listening to. And people are saying, I'm going to listen to Tom.
Nah,
because there's
Tom.
like an appetite for real music and an appetite for truth. Just be real. That's what people want. They're getting lied to on the news. They get lied to in the paper. They get lied to on social media. Where is somebody that's just going to be honest with us?
Good question, Tom. Really good question. Like I said, yeah, it makes a lot of sense, guys. Just be your authentic self. But yeah, guys, be genuine. Be yourself. Use your own voice. Don't let other people try and control what you say. And if you feel you can't say what you want, find a platform where you can. That's so important, guys. And the best part about it is if we all speak openly and freely, if there's an idea that I have that's a bad idea, somebody else can communicate openly with me and call me out, give me different ideas. We can talk about it. We can process it. That's one of the great things about these interviews, guys. I'm looking forward. We got Sean Hendricks and there's some other folks coming for some interviews. I'm going to do an interview with Shell on her X channel. Guys, we just need to be more open and have better discussions. That's all there is to it. I look forward to talking to anyone and everyone. If you want to debate or talk on this channel, just let me know. Hit me up. Email address, leave a comment. I'll be glad to talk to damn near anybody short of... No, I'd probably talk to damn near anyone except maybe Sleepy Joe. I don't know. Probably wouldn't talk to Sleepy Joe because he probably doesn't have a lot to say anymore. Make sure you have something to say and then I would be glad to talk to you.
Lied to in the paper. They get lied to on social media. Where is somebody that's just going to be honest with us? I'll do it. I don't care. I'm just grateful to be in America. After all, I came here unwell, addicted, to $800 in my wallet, and built a whole life for myself and my girlfriend. It's really incredible. The American dream's still alive and well. All you have to do is live up to your potential.
Yep.
That's why I love this place so much.
Isn't it weird hearing somebody who immigrated here say something like that? All we hear, and again, the media lies to you, like he said, but all we hear in the media is how negative these immigrants and migrants are, that they don't want this, that they don't want to come here and be American. They want America to become where they came from, which is crazy because they left there for a reason. It's the same stupid idea where a progressive leaves a progressive state or city because of the terrible policies and then moves somewhere conservative and brings those voting practices and policies with them. When are they going to learn that these cultures and these ideas are the problem? They probably won't.
All you have to do is live up to your potential. That's why I love this place so much. I just fell in love with the American spirit, and I fell in love with the people. And going out on July 4th and standing in the crowds and singing the anthems and watching the fireworks, it just makes me want to speak the truth even more.
Hell yeah.
You know, my dad's a big rock guy, and he told me something when I started writing rap music. Rock and roll's always been about screaming the truth at the top of your lungs. He said, you might be rapping, but what you're doing is rock and roll. And rock on.
Respect.
This has been Stories of Us with me, Tom MacDonald. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please consider making a donation to keep PragerU videos free.
Ah, interesting. That was a nice little story that he got to tell us. Very shortened and condensed, but with a couple extra little details like the knee injuries that took him out. Now, we've seen a couple of his other interviews. Again, you can check those out on the channel. You have the Roseanne podcast. You have the Fighter and the Kid podcast. Got a couple other ones. Just check those out as well. Thank you very much, Tracy, for the recommendation on this one. I really did enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. Join the discussion on Discord. Come on over to X. Patriot_USA. Appreciate all of you that made it to the end of the video. I definitely appreciate your support. If you're looking for a free way to support the channel, you can like the video, you can share the video with friends and family, you can leave a comment on the video, and you can subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for a way to support the channel monetarily, I have a link tree now built out that has links to things like Buy Me a Coffee and merch and many other ways where you can directly or indirectly support the channel. You can also head on over to coffeebrandcoffee.com, my preferred coffee, and you can peruse their coffees, teas, and cocos. And when you check out, you can use our channel's promotion code so that a little bit of your purchase comes back to help me create more content for you in the future. Now, you can also head on over to X. I co-host a space Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. with the Questionable Gardener titled Topic Exchange, where we talk about just various things. Saturday nights, I have a weekly update show where I discuss news from the week. That is streamed now over on X and Rumble, no longer here because I don't feel I can be my authentic self on those shows and cover the news that I want to cover without having to worry about terms of service and other issues. If you have a recommendation for a different video or topic you want to see on the channel, please make sure to leave in a comment below or send it to the email address that is displayed on the screen. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves, and God bless. Go ahead and check out one of the links on the screen now to either subscribe to the channel and see the rest of the videos of the channel, or one of the carefully selected videos that you may wish to see that YouTube has used its algorithm to select for you.